Here.
We are finally here. I'm pumped because it's Wellness Wednesday,
Yes.
one of my favorites. And we're talking about a topic that you don't often hear in the news or on social media. We're talking diet culture, but now it's for men. While we often hear about young girls and women struggling with body image, it can be easy to forget both men and boys. They might be struggling too, but under the radar. So this morning, we want to address this diet culture for men.
Exactly. What we need to know about the issue and what we can do about it.
So we are joined by Jennifer McDaniel of McDaniel Nutrition Therapy. Jennifer, as always, welcome back to Show Me St. Louis.
Thank you for talking about this today with me.
Yeah.
I am so excited because, Jen, you were saying this is something that you actually are seeing in your own home, being a mom of boys.
Yeah, I have a 14-year-old who got a free gym membership from school, so we started working out a lot more. And I'm just sort of hearing the conversations that are happening, and I'm like, you know what, we really need to talk about body image because this definitely flies under the radar for boys compared to girls. But 1 in 4 boys are being treated for an eating disorder, and about 75% of middle schoolers say that there's something that they don't like about their body for boys. So yeah, this is something that they're dealing with, and it helps to address it.
Yes.
Definitely. And so where can we start, from either a mom standpoint or, men, such as myself? We were talking behind the scenes, where do we start?
So I think when we're just having conversations with our sons, we're the best. We know them best, right? So if we're sensing something's off, if we're noticing that they're getting a little bit rigid with their eating patterns, or they're like getting upset if they've missed a workout, we can start asking them some questions around that, because the best thing is prevention, right? And it's early prevention when it comes to eating disorders.
Okay, and let's say you might be noticing that something's going on. When does someone need to perhaps seek help? That it needs to be something beyond that conversation?
Yeah, I mean, really early on, I think the mother or the dad's, intuition is good. And so talking with a pediatrician, talking with a therapist, a dietitian, it's really about early intervention. And it's also so important that we look at our own relationships with ourselves, taking a look in the mirror, because these are hard conversations to have with our kids about body shape and size. And we don't want to reinforce things. If a kid comes to us and they're saying, oh, I don't feel good about my body, it's bigger, I'm getting bullied, we don't want to say, well, let me go help you get on a diet and go to the gym, because that, even though that seems helpful as parents, we're sort of undermining, that, and we're kind of reinforcing that message. And the message that we want to be giving is that it's not the bodies that are wrong, it's diet culture that's wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's something that it's like what we were saying, you don't hear about a lot, but boys do have this idea of I have to be big, I have to be macho. I mean, that's what it means to be masculine.
I remember when I was that age. It wasn't around 14, it was more about the 16-year-old age when I started to get into the sports.
Yeah.
And you start seeing the guys around you, like you mentioned behind the scenes, guys are bigger than you.
Yeah.
And you're like, holy cow, like, especially when the sport world, you don't want to get hurt. You don't want to get, you get body shamed. And I think in the men culture, it turns into like a funny thing, but it's a serious thing because it leads to so many different issues.
Yeah, and there's a term for it. It's called bigorexia, and it's sort of this obsession with leanness and muscularity. And so, just like we have anorexia nervosa or binge disorder, there's a term for this. And, men can get all of the things, but of course, we're going to more squarely fit with a bigorexia for men.
Yes.
Wow.
And I love too how you always emphasize the role of the parent. If you eat a big meal, not using language like, oh, I got to go to the gym, I got to work this off, because that's just really reinstating what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, we have to kind of look at ourselves. It really does start there. And I think before we even have these conversations with them, and if we're, talking about our bodies in a negative way in front of our kids, or even feeling those things, I mean, they sense that too. Or we're saying things like, oh, I had this really big meal, now I need to go work this off. It's those subtle little messages.
It's hard. It's hard not to, but it is. That's they take that.
It's our it's our conditioning. We're all kind of swimming in this diet culture, and so just to kind of bring, when we see our kids go through things, that always is a awareness light up for ourselves as parents. It's just an opportunity for good conversation.
Yeah. Well, Jen, we
great
appreciate you
conversation
so
there,
much.
yeah.
Thank you so much for coming here today and for sharing this such an important message. Of course, you can learn more about McDaniel Nutrition Therapy. All that information is right there on your screen, or visit kck.com/showme.